All right, let's get right into it. You know, the confetti has barely settled from that incredible World Cup win, but believe it or not, the biggest question in football is already taking shape. Today, we're getting a very first look, a sneak peek really, at the team being built to defend that World Cup trophy. This is it, the next chapter for the champions of the world. I mean, what a tournament that was. It was like something out of a movie, a storybook ending that saw Argentina, led by their legend, reach the absolute peak of the sport. The entire world was watching as they lifted that beautiful golden trophy. And that title, FIFA World Cup champions, that's forever. But in football, you can't stand still. The moment you get to the top of the mountain, the challenge of staying there begins. So that's what this is all about. Who are the players that are going to be tasked with that massive challenge of defending the title? Let's break down the projected squad piece by piece. So yeah, we're not just looking at a simple list of names here. We're looking at the blueprint for what could be a dynasty. Let's get into these early projections and see how the champs are gearing up.
Look, every great team in history is built on a rock-solid defense. It's just a fact. So for Argentina, job number one is building a defensive fortress that can shut down the best attackers on the planet. So who's getting the call to stand guard?
Okay, first up, the keepers and the back line. And right away you can see the strategy. It's a mix of the old guard and some fresh blood, right? In goal, you've got experienced hands like Gerónimo Rulli. In defense, you'll recognize some key names from that 2022 victory, guys like the aggressive Cristian Romero and the veteran Nicolás Otamendi. But what's really interesting is we're also seeing new faces, like the super talented kid Valentín Barco. So the plan is clear: mix that championship DNA with some fresh energy. And this analysis from ESPN just hits the nail on the head. To defend a World Cup, you need two things more than anything else: the experience to handle insane pressure and the versatility to change things up. This group seems to have both, and that makes them a really tough unit to break down. All right, let's move up the pitch into the midfield. This is the absolute heart of the team. This is the engine room, you know? It's where the tempo is set, where attacks get started, and where games are ultimately won or lost. I mean, just looking at this list, the technical skill just jumps off the page. You've got the non-stop workhorse Rodrigo De Paul, who was so crucial in 2022. Then you have the brilliant Alexis Mac Allister, who seems to be everywhere at once. And on top of that, you've got the creative spark of younger guys like Thiago Almada and Nico Paz. It's just an incredibly well-rounded group. This quote really captures that perfect balance. You need guys who can create chances out of thin air, guys who can carry the ball up the field under pressure, and guys who can just control the game. Argentina's projected midfield, it's got all three in spades. And that's exactly how you dominate the middle of the park. Now, controlling the game is one thing, but you gotta score goals. And that brings us to the part of the team that brings the fireworks, the attack. This is where Argentina has always dazzled the world, with legendary talent and just ruthless goal scorers. Of course, one name on this list, it just stands above all the rest. But next to the great Lionel Messi, you have a proven goal machine in Lautaro Martinez up top, and you're also seeing an eye on the future with super exciting young players like the winger Gianluca Prestiani. At the end of the day, for all the talk about new talent and squad depth, the hopes of an entire nation, and let's be honest, the whole footballing world, they really rest on the shoulders of the captain. His decision is going to define this whole campaign. And here it is, the elephants in the room. According to reports from Fox Sports, Messi is thinking hard about the incredible physical and mental toll of another World Cup. His participation is not a sure thing, and that uncertainty is hands down the biggest storyline heading into 2026. So this brings us to the big variables, the question marks hanging over this whole project. Because beyond just the names on paper, there are some pretty significant issues that need to be resolved. Okay, so here are the big three. First, the Messi decision, which we just talked about. Second, the veteran defender Nicolás Otamendi. He's facing a potential ban that could carry over from qualifying, and that could really impact the early games. And third, with all these great players, what does the actual starting lineup even look like? So the million-dollar question is, how does this all fit together on the pitch? Well, based on a classic 4-3-3, this is a pretty strong projection. You can see there's some wiggle room in a few spots, right? Like at right back, maybe Molina, maybe Foyth. But the basic idea is there. You have that experienced defense as your foundation, a balanced midfield trio that can control everything, and it all funnels up to that absolutely lethal front three. Of course, the whole thing kind of hinges on Messi returning, with a proven scorer like Lautaro Martinez leading the attack. But you have to remember, this is all subject to change. So when you put it all together, the championship core, the injection of new talent, and those big lingering questions, you get a really fascinating picture. This isn't just about trying to defend a title. This is about trying to build a potential dynasty. The pieces are definitely there. The talent is off the charts, and that winning experience is priceless. But repeating as World Cup champions is one of the single hardest things to do in sports. So the final question is really the biggest one of all. Can this team actually do it all over again? The road to 2026 starts right now, and the world will be watching.